So we wanted to talk about this story today because as bad as it is just simply not being able to find a family doctor in this province, and we've been living with this now for a while, to read about someone who is in fact a family physician and just how difficult it is within the system is a whole other story. So Dr. Michael Kalin is a family doctor in Côte-St-Luc. He's a member of their regional medicine board there as well, and he's on the line. Dr. Kalin, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start off, I mean, some of this, and you use the word demoralizing, which is, bad enough to hear, but in reading the story today in the Gazette on this, you said, and I'm quoting, "Family medicine as we teach it, as I wanted to practice it, no longer exists in Quebec." That's a direct quote. What does that mean and why?
Family medicine is based on four essential principles. And in Quebec now, as a result of legislation that's been put forward in the last decade, family medicine doesn't exist. Our pillars include building a relationship with patients. We can't do that anymore. We're supposed to have a defined population of patients. The government takes that away from us. We're supposed to be based in the community. Well, with PREMS, we can't decide where we want to practice anymore. The government tells us. The specialty family medicine is under siege, and this is why I'm not surprised that fewer graduates in Quebec are choosing family medicine, as opposed to the rest of the country where the numbers are improving, because family medicine, as it's supposed to be, does not exist in Quebec anymore.
I'm reading that number for people who don't know. You're saying here, of the 75 vacant residencies in family medicine in all of Canada, 70 of them are in Quebec. I mean, that's staggering.
It shows that we are doing something wrong in Quebec.
Well, so let me ask you, as a doctor, and obviously you've spoken to other people who are in this profession as well. I'm particularly interested in what you said a moment ago about, building a relationship with a patient. That's gone why?
That is the core value of family medicine. It's what allows us to provide great care. It's what attracts new graduates into family medicine. We wake up every day because we like the relationship. We like to meet people, to grow with them, to meet their family. It's the trust, it's the bond. Otherwise, a patient can go anywhere and get advice. You can go on Google, but you want to go to somebody who you trust, somebody who you respect their knowledge base, their experience. And you can't do that with McMedicine, this fast food style that the government keeps on pushing, which is call 811, we'll send you somewhere, you'll meet somebody once, you'll have one problem that you can discuss, and then you'll probably never see that person again. It's, I find, unfair to the patients who are treated as these numbers, and I think it's unfair to the physicians, where we are being denied the opportunity to provide the care that we are trained to do, that we want to provide. This is a core value of being a Quebecer and being a Canadian. We want to do it, and yet it seems like at the end of the pipeline, at the end of all this training, the government says, well, we've paid for your education, but we are not going to give you a job, and if you are going to do this job, we're going to tell you where and how to do it. And we don't believe that that's the best way to practice medicine to make people healthy. We always say an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, or is a pound of cure. And what we're doing now is fast food style medicine. Get in there, get out, and if you have a problem, call again tomorrow, and a different doctor will deal with a different problem. And this is just not how people want to be treated.
See, and of course, the irony in that is the government will say, well, look, we realize we're short so many family physicians. At least this way, people get to see a doctor. So, no, you don't get to spend or develop a relationship with that doctor, but at least you get seen.
Yeah, that's true. But this comes down to 20 years of horrible policy. And having another bad policy doesn't correct all the errors of the past. Mm-hmm. We now have in the CS Cavendish and Côte-St-Luc, it's called CS Centre-Ouest. We probably have over 50% of the population without a family doctor now, and I'm including immigrants and refugees here. This is just horrifying. We're in Canada, but we don't live in North Korea. We're supposed to have the model system in the world, and yet we cannot provide basic care, primary care to the majority of our population, and yet there's just excuses with every election cycle. Everybody's blaming somebody else. We need leadership. We need vision. We don't need somebody coming in and trying to tweak the system and saying, well, let's see if we can squeeze out a little bit more out of these doctors. The doctors are demoralized. We're frustrated. We recognize that as bad as it is for us, it's worse for the patients. We feel terrible. And the truth is, we have a two-tier system. We have people who have a family doctor and people who don't have a family doctor. We've created it. And in Canada, to say to somebody, you don't have the right to have a doctor, and too bad, you're probably not going to get one, I find this completely against our values. And I think we have to stand up and say, it's enough already. We need doctors. People have a right to see the same physician multiple times, to follow their care, to be provided with the excellence in care that we are entitled to.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand. I would ask you then, what's the solution to this? You have a government now and a health minister who's basically decided to completely revamp the system, change things up. He promised it would be a major shakeup. Anything that you've seen in that plan make you feel better that it will be?
No, we're going in the wrong direction again and again. We saw this with Minister Barrett. We're seeing it now. You can't get more with less. Our population is growing. More people are moving here. Immigration is up. Doctors are retiring. We know this. We know that 1/4 of family doctors are over the age of 60. Many of them are reaching retirement. They have big practices, 3,000-4,000 patients. Patients are more complex, more problems. People are living longer. You can't have shortcuts here. Healthcare costs money, but this is a value that we're prepared to pay for. This is something that that we're entitled to. And I believe that we need easier processes for foreign doctors to come in. We need to graduate more doctors, especially into family medicine. We need to encourage people to become nurse practitioners. The multidisciplinary team is a great approach. Group care is a good approach. However, it can't be done alone, and you can't do it with fewer and fewer physicians. We need a robust primary care network, and yet every government seems to think we can do it with less, and we can't. Healthcare needs care. You need the personnel. You cannot replace us with AI. It's not the same thing.
You kind of make the case. I don't want to run out of time before I ask this, though. If the case is if we had more people, as you described, in those professions, things would be a lot better. But it's not as if you can flick a switch and suddenly we'll have more.
No, you can't. And it's absolutely absurd that we pay for the education of doctors through medical school, through residency. And at the end, we don't even give enough slots to the people who we've trained. Every year we have candidates who are applying to family medicine, and we do not even give them a position when there's a tremendous need. We have a negative deficit year after year in family medicine, and yet we have applicants who are being turned away, and they're going to other provinces, other countries, or perhaps the private sector. It is inexcusable. Other provinces don't do this. They open up more spots than there are people who are graduating. They're attracting young doctors while we are pushing them away. It is inexcusable. And every elected official should have to account for that.
Dr. Kalin, I thank you so much for your time. My last question is going to be, are you hopeful? But I think I already know the answer to that. So
I'm always hopeful. And we have tremendous patients, and we have phenomenal doctors out in the system, and we have to just keep the pressure up to make the system better. We deserve it.
Dr. Kalin, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dr. Michael Kalin, family doctor in Côte-St-Luc. Wow.